if you are coming in live, hashtag live, let us know that you're live, and let us know that you're in the comments, and smash the heart button so that everyone in this group knows that this is going on. Today we have a very special training by Ken, Nettie, and Rob. And also let me know if you can hear me as well. I'm currently in Mexico in Tulum, so I don't have my usual setup. And the mic that I have, there's no plug. So I might sound a little bit echoey because it's a pretty big room here. What we're gonna talk about today is how do you write emails that people will actually love and will actually convert? Email marketing is dead to some people, but it's been just widely kind of a thing for us marketers to realize that email is not dead at all. And if you use it the right way, it's a very powerful tool. So today we have a very special training, and I'm going to have Ken and Rob take it away. Whoever one of you want to go first, go ahead.
All right, awesome. Well, Rob's going to attempt to share his screen, so I'll let you two figure out the magic of that, and I'll say hello to everyone. Oh, that was fast and swanky. Good. Well, hello. Let us know in the comments that you're here with us live. It's good. Call me Kennedy. That's what everybody else calls me. My secret code name on Facebook is Ken plus Neddy, which means Kennedy, all one word. You see what I did there? Very clever. So there you go. Welcome to this. We're really excited to share this with you because I know that let us know in the comments if you're watching this live or you're watching this on the replay. What is your main business? What you're mainly doing? I know that a lot of Kim's wonderful audience are affiliate marketers promoting other people's products and stuff like that, which is awesome. We work with a few of those folks as well who promote our products and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome to be able to serve this community and answer that whole thing about, can people actually enjoy receiving your emails? Because the great thing about email marketing is you have that data. You're not relying on whether Facebook decides it wants to show your messages to other people or not, okay? So email marketing for affiliate marketers is such a big deal. So let's get into how we actually get on with this. So, Rob.
Super excited to be here. We're going to start off just like any training should. We're going to spend the next 6 hours or so telling you how brilliant we are and why you should listen to us. No, really quickly. We're going to give you a mercifully short introduction to us, just so you know who we are. My name is Rob. I'm the one with the red hair. R for Rob, R for red. No more clues. Kennedy is the other one.
I'll be the one doing all the funny bits. That'll be me. Hello.
That's what he thinks. So a hypnotist and a mind reader walk into your inbox. So I have been for the past almost 18 years now, lucky enough to travel almost all over the world, performing a show as a comedy stage hypnotist. So get up on stage, get volunteers out of the audience, hypnotize them, make them do crazy things, and then send them back to the audience. And Kennedy is a mind reader. Anyone watching that in the US would know that as a mentalist. So he uses skills of psychology and understanding people and influence and reading people's body language and all of that to make it look a lot like he can read people's minds, because basically when you've got that skill set, you basically can. So as a hypnotist and a mind reader, we've spent nearly 20 years each getting inside people's heads to make a career out of it and build a business out of it. And along the way, we accidentally realized that when you start as an entertainer, you've instantly got a business. Whether you want one or not, you've instantly got a business, because you don't just put an ad in like the yellow pages and wait for people to call. You have to learn about branding and marketing and positioning and converting and all that stuff. But we very quickly found email as a really great way to get booked. We found that we could get inquiries, we could convert inquiries into bookings, and then bookings into repeat bookings as entertainers. And we did really well very quickly, starting very, very young, out of school for me, out of university for Kennedy. And other entertainers very quickly started to notice that we were doing stuff and making moves. And eventually they wanted coaching, so they ended up coming to us and learning how to do what we were doing so that they could be busy too. And along the way, we realized that actually we could get even better results if we applied the same techniques that we use on stage, the same techniques I use as a hypnotist, the same techniques Kennedy uses as a mind reader or a mentalist, and apply them to email marketing so that we could get more engagement, we could make more sales from every email that we sent, but without being really salesy, because none of us like to sell stuff. And these are really simple techniques that allow us to deepen relationships with subscribers so they stick around longer, they pay more attention, they buy stuff and more frequently and more expensive stuff, and they love receiving your emails. And as a result of all of that, and now helping hundreds or I don't know, thousands maybe of business owners of all different types, including affiliate marketers, to make more sales with email, we are very humbled to have been named in the top 10 email marketing influencers in the world by Sendinblue, the email marketing platform. So it's quite a privilege for us.
It's lovely. And actually, what I didn't tell you as well, Rob, is
Thanks.
Thank you. We've got Kim's a big fan, as you can see. I know, but the thing is, when Rob says we are obsessed with email marketing, he really means we're obsessed. So obsessed that we started a podcast where we actually just talk about email marketing every single week. We called it the Email Marketing Show because we're not very good at naming things, but we're really good at email marketing. And in fact, Rob, you don't even know this. We actually got named yesterday. The Email Marketing Show got named the #1 email marketing podcast in the world by somebody, which is great. I haven't even. I need to find out.
Was it your mum?
It wasn't my mum. No. It was like your mum or something. No, it was somebody really, really good. It was something really cool. Anyway, also as well as that, was creating the podcast, where we talk about email marketing, have a laugh every week. By the way, you can find it on Spotify, all the usual places if you want to hear us talk about that stuff, and join us for that each week. But also, we created an entire community, a free community around that podcast called the Email Marketing Show Community. And literally, if you want to come and join us on that, by the way, it's free. You can just look for the Email Marketing Show Community on the Facebooks and come and join us in there, where we literally talk about how do you apply this email marketing stuff to your business, because we know all of our businesses are different. So we literally talk about and think about email marketing all of the time, right? So here's the thing. Got a question for you. If you're here live, I want to see the answers in the chat below. And if you're here on the replay, then put it in the chat below because we'll read them afterwards anyway. Are you afraid of emailing too much? Who else is afraid? Who's afraid of emailing too much? Stick your hand up in the air, give us an emoji, give us a me, give us a heck yeah, anything you like in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah, guys. So if you are afraid, or if you're not afraid, let me know. If you're not afraid, then hashtag heck no. And if you are afraid, then hashtag scared. But I know my audience, they get so many emails from me. So whenever I have a conversation with a member of my audience, you guys, it's always like, Kim, yeah, I get your emails.
Yeah, awesome.
So
I don't do email yet, nothing to be afraid of. I don't want to feel spammy. We hear this all of the time. And the truth is, you should be afraid. You really should be afraid. You should be afraid if you're doing email marketing, what we call the old way. Rob and I were very lucky. We got asked to keynote and be the closing keynote speakers at a really large, prestigious marketing event in the UK, in London, where we were asked to be the closing speaker to talk about email marketing. And if you've ever seen us at an event before, you'll know the best place to find us is over at the lunchtime buffet. And basically, we're standing there next to the lunchtime buffet, and this guy who was another speaker at the event came over and he said, Kennedy, Rob, you're the guys who are doing the closing keynote. You're speaking about email marketing. I know what the email marketing is. It's that thing where you build a massive list and then you email them till they buy, die, and subscribe, right?
Was Dick Van Dyke at that event? That's what that sounded like.
Yeah, so, and the thing is, the annoying, frustrating thing is, that way of doing email marketing, where you build this massive list and you just email the hell out of people, shockingly, terrifyingly, actually used to work. But these days, we all like to have choice. We choose what we watch on TV. We don't rush home from work anymore to watch our favorite TV show. We put Netflix or Amazon or whatever on. We also are very trigger happy with that unsubscribe button. So we said, email marketing is one of the only platforms that has not moved with that time about how we as consumers like to receive emails. So they got us to asking the question, what if your subscribers actually enjoyed receiving your promotional emails? That sounds like a thing that would be totally impossible. But also, what if your emails actually delivered value in their own right? And what if you could entertain, inform, and sell at the same time? So you're never having to think, oh, I need to do a value email today, or I've been selling too much, I need to do value, or I can't sell now because I need to do value, whatever that's going to be. You don't need to worry about that because you can just do all of those things at the same time. And you can do that if you do what we call, and we came up with a really clever name for this, we call it the modern way.
Now, we're going to break this whole thing down into a few steps for you, but we want you to know this isn't one of those trainings where we're going to teach you the fluffy, feel-good stuff that will leave you with loads of questions and trying to figure out how you apply it. By the end of this, you'll be able to go out and you'll just be able to do it. You'll be able to take what we're about to share with you and just use it. We're going to give you examples and all sorts of other stuff as well. So step number one to this whole process is something that we simply call selling through value. It's the fact that value and selling stuff don't have to be mutually exclusive. Like Kennedy said, you don't have to spend ages buttering people up by giving them loads of stuff, and then every now and then you can give them the right hook of a sales promotion. Not at all. And this is going to require a bit of a flick of switch of mindset, I suppose. And just as an aside, this is literally the best picture of a light switch that I could find on any stock photography website. So if you happen to be a photographer, there's a fortune to be made by selling pictures of light switches to stock photography sites. Anyway, all of that to say, we need to flick a switch in our mind. See, most of us think of email as being something that really serves us as the business owner, and it annoys and irritates the subscriber. That's how we generally think of email marketing. So, for example, let's imagine you've got a business that sells stationery like pens and things, and you bought some paper clips from them once, and now you're on their list. And they decide, right, we're going to do a special offer on, I don't know, on pens, right? So we better email our entire list and tell them about this special offer on pens. So somebody, whoever's job it is at that business, goes to the computer and writes an email, spends hours crafting it, puts graphics in it, takes ages, gets it approved by somebody else, and then they hit send and they send it out to their list of hundreds of thousands of customers and subscribers. And then they run away from the computer and they put their fingers in their ears and they like bend down like this, and they just hope that not too many people are going to be annoyed, and they hope that not too many people are going to unsubscribe, and they really hope that not too many people are going to report the email as spam. And if they're really lucky and all of the stars are aligned, they might be able to make a sale of some pens, because some of the people who open the email might be looking for pens, or they might just be caught in by the good deal or whatever. And some people are going to unsubscribe, and that's just kind of the way it is. And they hope for the best. And that's just a rubbish way of looking at email marketing. Instead, if we just think about email marketing, email generally, as just being another channel, another way you can deliver content to people, then we think about it a bit differently, because actually, it's just another app on people's phones. More and more people check their email on their phone. Mobile email usage is growing massively and very fast. And so email is just another app on somebody's phone. It's neatly snuggled in between TikTok and Snapchat. And they get push notifications about it, just like they do about everything else. And so you're just able to deliver content in the same way that you can on Instagram or on TikTok or whatever. So think about Instagram for a second. If you're scrolling through Instagram and you see a post that really grabs your attention, like maybe it's a really good quote or something, you might like that post. If you really like it, you might post a comment on it or tag a friend in the comment. If you really, really, really like it, you might even share that post to your story, which means that it gets viral growth. All of your followers see that person's post as well. Well, imagine if you could do this through email, but also sell, because selling on social media can feel a bit icky sometimes, especially if you do it too much. People are going to unfollow you. They are going to switch off. We don't have that with email. You can sell every single day, as long as you do everything else we're going to show you. You can sell every single day, and email is by far the highest converting medium that we've got online. So what that means is that we can deliver great content. We can have it go viral. You'll actually get people replying to your emails every day saying, thank you, this is great, we'll show you later. People will forward your emails to their friends because they'll say, go and have a look at this. This sounds like it's right up your street. You need to check this out. And so if you currently post on Instagram, or you've heard that you should post on Instagram every day or twice a day or whatever, you would never, ever hear a social media coach tell you only post once a month. Whatever you do, don't post more than once a month. So why do we stick to this idea of like a monthly email newsletter or a weekly email newsletter? No, you can send emails every day, more than once a day if you want to, as long as you follow the framework that we're going to show you. And that really raises this big question, doesn't it?
It does. It brings the question of how do you actually show up with value in every single email? Because if you've heard people online say, you've got to give value. How do I build an audience, Kim? Give value. How do I do this? Give value. And it makes me, have you ever sat down in your email system and tried to give value? What the heck is value? We need to figure out, in order to do this in a really practical sense, we need to know what this value thing is. So we've broken it down into, there's two big types of value that you can give. We've actually broken it down into 9 different types of value, but they all come down to 2 things. They are things that people want to learn, and then things that people want to feel. That's the two things, which basically comes down to things that you're going to teach people and things that you're going to show people. Right? So you might teach some tips. You might teach them something they didn't know before. You might teach them how to do something, or you might show them something through something emotional. You might tell a story, and we'll get onto that in just a moment's time. Because the thing is, the best way to do both of these things, to teach and to show without ever running out of ideas, is to tell stories. Telling stories is the easiest and the best way to email. The reason that stories are the best way to email is not only because they're the easiest, but also because they're really easy to write. Like, to sit down and actually write a story is so much easier than anything else we do, because since before we can even remember as human beings, we've been hearing and telling stories. Stories also make everything more emotional and real. Think about it. If you've ever seen a 13-point checklist of all the things you need to have in your sales letter, can you remember the 13 points? Probably not. Not off the top of your head. Whereas I am sure there are stories you still laugh about with your friends, with new friends, when you're on a date or wherever. There's stories about things that have happened years ago that you still tell the stories about right now, because we can remember them, because we actually put ourselves in them. We put ourselves in those stories and they become emotionally connecting. When someone hears a story, psychologically speaking, they put themselves into the story, which means they can feel things. I can't feel anything about a list of 13 things I should do in every email. I can't feel anything about that apart from, well, I should probably put those things into my email. And they're important, but I feel nothing. As soon as you tell me a story about somebody who did an awesome thing with emails, then suddenly I can feel that thing. And one of the things a lot of people say to us when they read our emails is, I can hear your personality. I can hear your voice in my head when I'm reading your emails. And how do we do that? It's really easy to not sound like a robot, because telling stories is the simplest way of showing your personality. It's the easiest way to show your personality. After all, when you tell a story, you use your colloquialisms, you use your turns of phrase. So people hear your personality, because what's amazing is you might meet somebody like Kim, and I might be hanging out at some bar sometime in Mexico where she is right now. We might be hanging out, having a good time, catching up and being friends and stuff. That's cool. And then we're like, oh, yeah. And then I go to write an email. I open up my laptop and suddenly I do what's the writing version of the telephone voice. I suddenly sit down and go, to whom it may concern, hello, I'm an email marketing person. And suddenly, like, everyone's reading your emails going, who is that person? Who is that? And if you tell stories, it's so much easier to show your personality. And because if you tell stories about things that happen in your life, like I tell stories about my 2 Bengal kittens, I talk about my dad and my mum and my niece and all these different things, that instantly builds more trust in your audience in a world where we have the lowest levels of trust ever. So that first thing we need to do is we need to show up and we need to give value. The second point of this is that we actually, once we realize we're giving value to people through these stories and through those 2 things you mentioned before, through teaching and showing people things, we then need to show up more often.
See, the thing is, you've got to actually be there for your subscribers to help them. I mean, think about your best friends for a minute. The people that you know the best, the people you like the most, they are most likely to be the people that you hang out with the most, even if that's not in real life, even if that's, they might live on the other side of the world, but through Zoom and WhatsApp and Facebook and all the stuff we've got now, you get to hang out with those people virtually. And the truth is, you really can't build a very deep connection with people if you're only in front of them once a month or once a week. So the real question here is, how can you support your subscribers more often? I mean, let's face it, your subscribers came and joined your list because they have a problem of some description and they think that you've got the solution. Oh, that's a spoiler for later. You'll find out why. So we'll see who's paying attention. You see, they want your help with something. They want your help to overcome something or to achieve something or to get somewhere where they're currently not. And so what most email marketers do is they have their lead magnet or whatever. Somebody comes along and opts in for this free checklist, and that's great. And they get the free checklist. That's good. And that's the first bit of their problem solved. That's a bit of the itch is now scratched. But it's definitely not. It's definitely not the end of their problems. They've definitely got more stuff you can help them with. And then what we do is we do that thing, like, you know, when you go on a first date with somebody, you have a lovely time. Maybe you match them on Tinder or something, and you go on a first date, and they laugh at all of your jokes and you laugh at all of their jokes, and you accidentally touch their hand and you both giggle, embarrassed. You think, oh, this is the person I'm going to be with. We could get married and have beautiful children. This is going to be amazing. And then you kiss at the end of the date and you both go your separate ways, and then you never hear from them again. I mean, I can't possibly say that's ever happened to me, but I've heard that that kind of thing does happen. And that's what email marketers do. They just totally ghost their subscribers. You turn up, you give them your email address, you get the free lead magnet, and then radio silence for a really long time until they're ready to sell you something, and then they crawl out of the woodwork, and nobody likes that. So what we need to do is we need to be there. We need to show up more often. And you might feel icky about sending people too many emails. Well, we've started to overcome that now by talking about the fact your emails are valuable. But the second bit to this is to remember you're the only person who sees 100% of your emails. So it's bound to feel like loads of emails to you. Not only that, but you see your emails probably like 7 or 8 times longer than anyone else does, because you see them from the birth of the idea through to like writing the first draft of the email, through reading it back to make sure it makes sense, through making sure the link goes to the right place, because you never want to send out the wrong link, through sending it and checking it on your phone to make sure it looks all right and checking the link again. And then you worry about it for hours to, you know, hope that people are going to like the email and not going to freak out when they read it, and they might even buy something. So you see your email for loads longer than everyone else. And also because nobody's getting 100% open rates. I don't think Google are getting 100% open rates even. That means that you're the only person who's opening all of those emails. In fact, here's a story for you. I take changing hairdresser very seriously. I am more likely to emigrate to Mexico than I am to change hairdressers. Although if I did that, I would have to change hairdressers. So I need to think this through. But a few years ago, I was ready to change hairdressers. I wanted to move to a different hair salon. And I remembered that a girl that I went to school with, her and her brother had opened a hair salon. So I thought, oh, I wonder if they've still got it. I'll get in touch. So I looked up Amelia from school on Instagram. We've been friends since we left school about 16 years earlier. And sure enough, still got the hair salon. So I sent her a message. I said, do you use L'Oreal? Important question. The answer was yes. I said, great. Can I book an appointment? She said, yes. I booked in the appointment for the following couple of weeks. So I went there. I sat in the chair. She came over, made me a cup of tea with a little biscuit, caramel biscuit, threw the big cloak around me in style and tied it off on the back. And then she asked me 2 questions. The first question was, so what are we doing today then? That's the question all British hairdressers ask. I don't know if it's the same around the world, so I described it. And then this mess. And then the second question was, so what are you doing these days? And I thought, what do you mean? What am I doing these days? We're friends on Facebook. We have been since we left school. We're connected on Instagram. We have been since we left school. I post every 3 minutes about this hypnosis show that I'm doing and this email marketing thing and this software business I started and this other thing I'm doing. How can you possibly ask me, what are you doing these days? And then I remembered, to change the slide, and then I remembered that I had to look her up to see if she even still had the hair salon. Because the thing is, there's loads of stuff gets in our way of the people on our we're connected with seeing our content. There's algorithms in the way. There are people's agendas in the way. The fact that we're all busy. I didn't know everything that was going on in her life. I couldn't expect her to know everything that was going on in my life. You're the only person who sees 100% of your emails, but you're actually the only person who sees 100% of your anything. So if you ever feel like you are talking about something too much, you're probably not. If you feel like you're talking about it enough, you're definitely not. If you feel like it's a bit uncomfortable and maybe you're still talking about it a little bit too much, you might still not be talking about it enough. You have to go really over the top in order for your message to get over. Years ago, I talk with my hands quite a lot. And years ago, I was going through some training about how to present better on video. Hopefully that's showing up. And one of the things the guy said to me is, do you know that the camera really dulls down your movements? So if you think you're talking with your hands quite a lot, the minute you put it on a camera, it dulls that down. So you have to be really over the top, which feels ridiculous when you're doing it, but you have to do that in order for it to look right on camera. And this is exactly the same. If you think you're talking about it too much, you're probably not. And you probably need to talk about it a little bit more.
Great point, Rob. Love what you said there about moving your hands. That's really good.
I see what you did there. The jokes are free, folks. The jokes are free.
Joke. So I suppose at this point we are wondering, all right, guys, you teach email marketing. You guys can show up more often. You can email every flipping 10 seconds if you wanted to, or if you whatever, right? But can anybody do this? Can everybody do this? And because you're thinking your business is different. So we thought, let's think of a really difficult business, one that we think maybe couldn't do this. And we thought of a few. We thought about, what about a funeral director? What about an accountant? Like these things you might not think, hey, they could email as often as every single day. So let's think about our accountant. Our accountant's a guy called Graham. He's a wonderful guy. He's got great taste in ties and great taste in shirts. He's not very good at putting the two together. He sucks at that, but that's okay. They kind of clash. But Graham's great. But every month, Graham sends out the world's longest email. The world's longest email every single month. And the thing is, nobody's reading to the bottom of that email. It's got subheadings and pictures and paragraphs and stuff. It's like a bottomless well that no one's ever going to get to the bottom of. So he's taking a long time to write it and no one's reading it. So he's not getting the full benefit of it. So we thought, you know what? If Graham took this huge monthly diatribe of an email and he chunked it down to like a little daily digest, we could call it something like the daily digit or something. And every single day, he gave us a little tip about managing our finances and doing the right things with our money. It would be really beneficial to me because I'd actually damn well read it. It would be much easier to consume, which means I would read it. I would be keeping my finances, my accountant, all at the very front of my mind, which means I'd be making his job easier because I'd be going, hey, we should definitely do something with that, or we should think about that for our tax or whatever. We'd have a deeper relationship with him because we'll be hearing from him more often. And also, it builds a better picture of everything he does. Like, if you've ever been to those early morning business networking events, you know, those things where you wake up in the middle of the night and you go and breathe stale coffee on strangers, you know those things. Well, basically, the reason those things work is because when you show up each week, you're building a bigger picture of your business. You're not trying to like overload somebody with everything about your business in one shot where they just kind of can't take it in anymore. And by emailing a small amount of information regularly, you get to do that exact thing. I mean, another example, as we mentioned, Rob, of somebody who could not do this every single day was a funeral director, an undertaker.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, undertakers advertise on the television every day. In the UK, we have a funeral directors called the Co-op Funerals. They advertise on telly every single day. People are watching their adverts on the telly every single day in between their favorite programs, their favorite soap operas and stuff. And that's because this stuff is on our minds often, and it should be on our minds often. This is stuff that we have to take care of. Now, this is a particularly morbid example, but one of the things you can start to do is think about your audience and think about all the things they've got in common and the stuff that you can deliver to them that is valuable. So from a funeral director's perspective, that could be to do with things like how to make the most of all of the time you've got here on earth. It could be about the bucket list mentality, if they're a bit more edgy, and the stuff that you want to do before you check out at the end of your life. It could be about making, different ways to look after your family's future. Obviously, one of the big things that lots of funeral directors talk about is how to make sure your funeral is paid for so that your family don't have a burden. So you can take care of that and talk about all the different possibilities. There are loads of emotional needs that your audience have got above and beyond the things that you actually sell or the things you actually promote that will bond them all together. So if even a funeral director can do this, and I'm assuming nobody here is an affiliate for a funeral director, although you might be, you can definitely do it in whatever market and whatever niche you happen to be in.
Totally. I mean, basically, if we look at the kind of students we have studying our complete daily email strategy, which is like a big program we have, these are the kind of people who are sending emails every single day. Let me just rattle through some of the types of businesses so you realize you could absolutely do this. We've got a data protection and digital security person, a person who's about growing a healthier church congregation, horse riding therapy, a singing teacher, virtual assistants and social media managers, accountants, people cooking for people with autism, movement to help with pain relief, buying online businesses, writing fiction, authors, piano teachers, handmade products like keepsakes and jewelry, camping, digestive problems with kids, even email marketing automation experts are all using this strategy that we're sharing with you right now that we teach in order to do all this. It doesn't matter whether you've got a product, a service. It doesn't matter whether it's expensive or it's cheap. It doesn't matter if it's a membership or one-off, if it's B2B or B2C. The people who can do this and turn up and give value every day are people just like you. You can absolutely do this. So with that, we're going to interrupt things to have a popular pub quiz.
So we've got one question for you in this little quiz. I did ruin it a little bit earlier, as you'll find out. slightly intentionally, I've got to be honest. And the question is, why are people on your list? And we've got 4 possible options for you here, kids. Why are people on your list? Is it because, number one, they like having a friend? Maybe they feel a little bit lonely, and by being on your email list, you're going to email them. Fun fact, did you know when Kennedy first ever subscribed to a big marketers list, it was the infamous Dan Kennedy, almost the godfather of direct mail, I think. And he got an email from Dan Kennedy, and it said, "Hi, Kennedy," at the start of the email. And Kennedy thought, oh my God, I've just signed up to Dan Kennedy's list, and now he's emailing me personally. Didn't know that was the thing 17 or 18 years ago. So
all right, okay.
They like having a friend, and that means that they can be friends with you. Maybe they want more emails. Maybe they've seen Kennedy's inbox with his 37,602 unread emails, and they think, I want to be more like Kennedy. I can't do the hair thing, so I'm just going to get more emails. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they have a problem that needs solving. Maybe they've stumbled across your website and it looks like you've got the solution to their problem. Or maybe they've got too much time that needs filling, and they've heard that putting little emails into little folders in their inbox is really going to help them. Okay, we're being facetious, clearly. It's that they have a problem that needs solving, but we've got to keep that at the front of their mind. They didn't subscribe to your email list because they wanted that one lead magnet. They subscribe because they've got a problem and they think that lead magnet might guide them closer to the solution. But of course, the minute they solve that, there's more problems. The minute one door closes, another one opens. The minute they've got that bit, they need the next bit. And so they want to continue to hear from you as long as you do it in the right way. And here's the thing, we want to change email marketing. Rather than being this broadcast medium where we just pick up our megaphone and shout about stuff that we think people should buy, instead, we want to make sure you're always there, you're always around, so that you're top of mind the minute people are in a buying mentality. If we just like throw out a weekly newsletter or a monthly newsletter or a couple of times a week, and we hope that enough of the right people open the email and they happen to be in exactly the right buying mentality at exactly the time we promote exactly the right product to them, that's just never going to work. It's playing a numbers game, and we want to stop email marketing being a numbers game. That's what we do with our approach. Instead, we want to make sure that you are there the minute that people are ready to buy from you, because that's how you create an email marketing strategy that really works in a modern world.
So how often can you email? We email 365 days of the year, including Christmas Day, and we made a sale on that day. And the truth is, most businesses could email 365 days a year if they use these strategies. If you're going to just like show up and say, buy my stuff every day, please don't use these. Please don't email often. But if you're going to show up and give value, and think about your favorite TV show, would you be more upset if they showed more episodes or less episodes of your favorite TV show? If people are getting value from what you're sending, then they'll want to receive more of it. Like, your emails can become the daily dose of inspiration, help, and value while also selling. And I'm not just making stuff up. Let's literally really briefly show you some of the screenshots from the email replies we get to our daily emails.
So HH, I don't know who that is, said, love, love, love this. Then we got this email from Steve who said, brilliant email. Great job, guys. These emails are all selling stuff, by the way. So we're selling stuff in all of these emails, and we get these lovely replies. This one's interesting, from Ruth. She said, hi, Rob, that email cheered me up. I needed it as I was made redundant today. Thanks for the smile, Ruth. Now, just to put that into context, she's got up like she did every day. She's done her hair and makeup like she did every day. She's put her bag on her shoulder like she did every day. She's driven to work like she did every day. When she got there, she was told she doesn't have a job anymore as of some date in the future. And then she's come home with all of that burden and all of that bad news. She's opened an email from us where we're selling her something, and her reply to that was to say, that email cheered me up. I needed it. That's an email selling something. Amanda, this is a great example. So generally speaking, in our business, we mostly promote our own stuff. Sometimes we do affiliate offers. Most of the time we're selling our own stuff. But we have lots of customers who are affiliates. And when we're promoting our membership, like the League of Email Marketing Heroes, when somebody buys that, we stop emailing them about it, which means they don't receive as many emails from us. Amanda joined the League, and then she got in touch and said, Rob, can you send me a link so I can resubscribe to the daily email, please? I reckon about a third to half of our League members actually get back in touch and say, look, I know I've bought the thing that you sell, but can you keep sending me the emails, please? Because I really like receiving them. And that was a really big sign for us that this was definitely the right path.
But Robin Kennedy, surely emailing every day is going to get my emails reported as spam. That's what you might think. Like, if you email every single day, you might get reported as spam. Actually, we use a tool that we plug our email marketing software into to measure our email health. It's an independent tool. We're not affiliated with or anything like that right now, but actually we kind of are affiliated in a kind of way, but we don't own it, what I'm saying, right? And our score right now, we email every single day, and we have for a number of years, is 100 out of 100. And there's a reason for that. First of all, when you email more often, people can't forget who you are. One of the biggest reasons people report you as spam and get annoyed at you is because they don't remember subscribing to you because it's too long ago since you actually emailed them. So by emailing more often, you're going to upset less people because they're going to remember who you are. Secondly, Gmail and Hotmail and all of the email receivers, the email service providers, base your score on on whether they inbox you, whether they give you deliverability into the inbox rather than sending you a spam, based on how good a sender they think you are. Think about your credit score. It's just like that. If you don't email very often, it's difficult for them to figure out whether you're a good sender or a bad sender. Whereas if you email really often and you give value every time, people are opening and engaging with your emails, guess what happens? Google and everybody goes, oh, these guys or these girls are really, really great at their emails. We're going to send them to the inbox. But you've got to be showing up regularly to do that. So how do you act? That's the last thing, which is to make sales faster and more consistently using this methodology. So let's just recap where we're at. We're going to show up with value every single time using those two types of value. We're going to show up more regularly, and then we're going to use all of this to actually make sales. So how do we do that? The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to take you inside of our email marketing platform that we use, which is Keep, formerly known as Infusionsoft. And I'm going to show you inside of one of our businesses. This is the contact record from somebody who bought something. And I'll tell you now, this is not from inside of our email marketing business. This is from inside of a business which sells self-development, self-improvement stuff. So this works across every kind of business we've ever seen. The very top email at the top is the one where the person purchased. So we sent that email, the person saw it, opened the email, clicked and purchased. But these two emails just here, you'll see were sent on the same day. Now, full clarification, this date format for all of our American friends is in British format, which means we do the date, then the month. So that is the 9th of June, 2020 for both of those emails. So it's the 9th of the 6th, the 9th of the 6th. I know you guys do it the other way around, but that's cool, whatever. So those emails were sent on the same day. Really important bit. But if I remove this black redaction just here so you can see a bit more information, you'll see the first 4 emails after the person joined our list were unopened, and that little red dot means those emails actually bounced. Their inbox was full. They'd reached their quota. They could never have opened those emails. They couldn't have even seen those emails because the emails bounced. So we had no chance then. But good job, we continued emailing them because the next 4 emails were either not opened, opened and not clicked, or opened, clicked, but did not make a sale. We can see that through this. And of course, these 2 emails that were sent on the same day, one wasn't even opened, and the second one, that very top one, was opened, clicked, and actually made a sale. What does this tell us? This very top email here made the sale. We know that much. And it took us 9 emails to do it. Now, in this particular email promotion, this was an automated promotion. We weren't emailing every single day. There were scheduled breaks in the cadence on purpose because of the structure of this campaign. But it took us 9 emails to make that sale. If we email just once a week, that would have taken us 9 weeks to make a sale. If we emailed once a month, it would have taken us 9 months to make the sale. Now, not entirely true, because the person may very well have cleared their inbox out on the 3rd of June and started receiving our emails, but it would have taken months to make that sale if we'd emailed any less frequently. And one of the biggest reasons that most people stop building their email list and stop in business is because they run out of the cash flow to keep growing their list because they're not monetizing it fast enough. The only way to do that is to show up with value, show up more regularly. So let's go through those 3 steps again.
Step number 1, we're going to sell through value. We're going to use value and sales pitches in the same emails every time. Number 2, we're going to show up more often. No point in being in people's inbox every 6 months. We need to be there as often as we can. And that's going to allow us to make sales faster and more consistently. Nobody likes massive peaks and massive troughs in their business. We want consistent sales. We want predictable email marketing revenue. So let's give you a real life example that you can copy of how we actually do this, how we actually sell stuff in this story-led email. Now, we've got a few different structures that we created in order to make this really easy for us to do, because we didn't want email marketing to take over our lives. Email marketing is really the closest thing that we have to what's being termed as push button income, right? Because basically you just type an email, you hit send, and then you make a load of money, and then you do it again the next day. So you don't want that to take hours. You want it to happen quickly. Just to put this into context, Kennedy does his email for one of his businesses at 5:30 in the morning, every morning, because he gets up early, makes a cup of tea, and while the kettle is boiling, right, which doesn't take very long, he writes his entire email. It's usually like less than 175 words. It takes on average 4.5, 5 minutes to write. And that email will then go out and make a whole bunch of sales. So we've got 4 basic structures that we use. We don't have time to go into all of them here. We've got them inside our full program, but I'm going to share one of them with you. This is the one that we use most of the time. It's called the traditional, not for any good reason. I'll let you into a secret here. It's called the traditional because it's the first one we came up with, and therefore it's the one that we traditionally use. That's it. It's broken into 3 bits. The first bit is an opening story. Now, you're not looking for something that's going to rival Shakespeare here. What you're looking for is something seemingly innocent, seemingly innocuous that's happened in your life in the last 24 hours, probably. It might be in the last week. It could be in the last 20 years. Who knows? Sometimes I'll like talk about a story of something that happened as a child because of something that I remembered in the last 24 hours. But some examples of what this has been in recent weeks. I recently bought a new mattress. I'm 33, and for the first time in my life, I've bought a new mattress. Previously, I just had the one I had from my parents' house. So bought a new mattress.
Dirty, that's why.
Bought a new mattress, and I found out some stuff when you buy a mattress. So I wrote 2 emails about that, one when I ordered it and one when it arrived. When I moved into this house, it didn't have a doorbell on it, or it didn't have a working doorbell. So I bought a doorbell, fancy one, put it on the door. Turns out nobody uses it. The postman and everyone, they're just used to knocking. So they've continued knocking on the door. Stuff like that. Things about what I've had for dinner, stuff my guinea pig's done, funny things that have happened in the media, that kind of thing. We're just looking for little stories that seemingly are totally random and seemingly have nothing to do with email marketing or whatever it is that your niche is. And the reason they don't appear to have anything to do with it is because, well, they don't at all. We're gonna make that fit. So what you do is once you've told this little story, and we'll show you an example of one in a second, they're super short, you're now going to segue into some kind of lesson. What you're looking to do here is pull the moral of that story out, turn it into like a little fable by demonstrating, using that story to demonstrate a point about your niche. So I would take the story about the mattress arriving, I would pull the moral of that story out and relate it to email marketing. It doesn't even have to be good. It doesn't even have to be well done. It could be the biggest shoehorn, the biggest handbrake turn you can possibly imagine to take you from a story into a little lesson, which is often as short as a couple of sentences. And then the lesson segues into an offer. And that offer is usually, in our case, for a paid product or, you know, a webinar or a summit or something that we're doing. That could be an affiliate offer, could be your own thing, whatever you want to do. And occasionally it might be like a podcast episode or a free video or something. Most of the time ours is selling stuff, but some kind of offer. We want every single email that you send to have something they can go and click and do. Even if you're not selling something that day, just at least give them the chance to go and listen to a podcast episode or look at an article or read something that is going to in some way further your agenda of selling to them and educating them, but also encourages them and trains them that they should always be clicking on stuff and engaging with stuff. We don't just want people opening our emails, letting their eyes go blind over them and then closing them. So story, lesson, offer.
Let's take a look at a real example. Now, if we've got any graphic designer people here, we know that Kim always likes to dress up and look really, really good. Her stuff always looks really good. Everyone likes their stuff to look nice. I was allowed to design this next slide. So if you're intimidated by great graphic design, please look away now. It's the only slide I've been allowed to design in the whole thing. You're about to see why. Rob, can I have the slide, please? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, good. So the reason for this slide is the yellow part, the mustard bit, is the story. So it starts off with the subject line, a creepy message from a German, and then the story. Notice we are selling an email marketing program during this. So it starts off with Kennedy went very pale when his phone went ding, Kim. We hopped on a Zoom call and I said Guten Tag instead of hello. Within 5 seconds, Kay got a WhatsApp message from his German pal, Thomas. The message just said, Guten Tag. That is creepy, innit? Like when you think about a long-lost friend and suddenly they call you out of the blue. I don't know if you believe in coincidences, but you can definitely be in the right place at the right time for something miraculous to happen. So we've told a story about something that happened. Nothing to do with email marketing, not even a sniff of email marketing yet. Then we segue in this teal color into the moral of the story that our audience will care about. And in this case, it was, we do one really simple thing to be in the right place at the right time for our email subscribers. We show up every day with a short but powerful email in their inbox. A little burst of humor, story, inspiration, and help to stay at the front of their minds so that when they need to take things to the next level, we're here. So now that's the moral of the story. And then we're going to segue into the offer. Okay, in this case, it's about our full complete daily email strategy course. So if you're wondering how you can send an email every day and have your subscribers addicted to it so you can build deeper relationships with them and make more sales more frequently, there's a 2-hour, 38-minute training called the Complete Daily Email Strategy. It covers everything like 7 methods for coming up with stories, lessons, and email content so you never run out of fresh ideas. 4 email structures to keep your emails interesting. By the way, this is one of them. This is the traditional. There's 3 others, right? 3 techniques to write these emails so fast so you can spend less time writing them. And the 9 different types of value that you can pick and choose from that will keep your subscribers addicted to opening your emails. Click here to check out the details and jump inside Speak Soon Rob. So you can see story, lesson, offer. The person gets 2 pieces of value, the story, the entertainment of that story. That's the first piece of value. The next bit is that sort of moral. That's 2 pieces of value. And the final thing is the offer. You are always outweighing your offer with 2 pieces of value, and you do that every single day, which means no one can get upset because they're getting value every single day, right? So let's close this whole thing up before we start taking your questions with some myth busting.
So people say that you can't email daily for a whole bunch of reasons, like people will get annoyed with you. Well, we know that's not true. You've seen the replies from people in our inbox. Your emails only deliver value to you as the marketer, not the subscribers. Again, we know that's not true. There's 2 bits of value in every single email that we send, outweighing that one offer. Your emails will get marked as spam and stop getting delivered. Well, actually, we know that for both psychological and technical reasons, the more often you email, the more delivery you get, the better delivery you've got. You'll run out of content or things to say. So not true. Every single day when your partner gets home from the shop, so the kids get home from school or whatever, there's always something you want to tell them about. Oh, you won't believe what the postman said, or what this happened, or the window cleaner fell off the ladder, or something that happened in your life. So you'll never run out of stuff to say, even if you feel like you've got a life that's boring where nothing really happens. You haven't got the time to email every day. Like we said, Kennedy sends one of his emails in 4.5 minutes every day. Between us, we send 4 daily emails. We do it like it's one of the things we don't have a team member do. Kennedy and I do our email marketing, and we do 4 daily emails between us in way less time than we could do social media or sales calls or any of the other stuff that you might do in your business. So these are all just myths. They're all just excuses we make why we can't do email marketing every single day, and we absolutely can.
Hey, it's been a pleasure being here. If you've got questions, we're happy to take them. I'm sure Kim's got some things she wants to throw at us as well. If we run out of time or you're thinking later, hey, how do I apply this to my particular business? Or I've got another question about email marketing. I'd love to know what the guys think. Do come and check out and hang out in our free Facebook group. It's called the Email Marketing Show Community. Literally just go to Facebook right now. Search for the Email Marketing Show Community. Oh, and here's a cool thing. On your way in, one of the questions we ask you on the way in is, would you like to join our email list? And if you give us your email address, you'll see us doing the daily email strategy. You'll see us actually doing the things that we do, and you'll see why people reply like this. So if you want to do that, that would be awesome as well. So we'll see you in there. But Kim, thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. And the reason why I'm on mute is because my friend that I'm visiting in Tulum is on a sales call. So
Awesome.
I don't know if you hear him. Do you hear him in the background?
No.
Oh, no? Okay, that's great. That means I can talk. Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for showing up. You delivered an amazing training, and it's something that I think requires a lot of reminders for people to not be afraid to send out emails, and that sending out an email, you see that you've emailed a lot. And for me, just for my audience to know, when people show up on sales calls, when people show up or have a conversation with me, the reason why they say, hey, I'm connecting to you because I get your emails. And that's a big testament to, I'm afraid that sometimes I'm emailing too much, and it is because of the emails that my people keep on showing up, that you guys keep on showing up. So, all right. So that was an awesome training. Go ahead and follow. Kennedy and Rob told me, hey, can we do a free training in your group? No pitch. And I'm like, yeah, why not? And their training was so powerful. So I really appreciate you guys coming here today. Hey guys, do you have any questions? We have like around a few minutes of their time for Q&A. Let me know. Yeah, Edward says, thank you for this amazing training. And Tani's like, this is awesome. And someone says, I'll subscribe to your email list. Who is that someone? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Oh, Peter. Okay, so Josh Rackless says he was in Tulum for a week or a few years ago. And then Tani says, love your energy. Here you go. Yay! Thanks, guys. Thanks for showing up. And go ahead and follow their community. Yes. And Tani will subscribe too. So thank you so much. Any questions you have? Any questions at all? They learned a lot. Have to listen to the first replay. First on replay. Yes. So, all right, guys, this video will be in here. The replay will be available for you right after this when we end, so you can go ahead and watch it. Okay, a question. I've been feeling a bit of fear sending emails. Do you have any tips to get over it? Other than watching the replay of this?
The thing is, what you've got to remember, I'm not sure who that is, but what you've got to remember is the reason people are on your email list is because they've got a problem they believe you have the answer to. So if you don't show up regularly and give them the value and help them to fix that problem or to find out the answers or find out the resources they need, you're actually not serving them. So actually you should be more afraid of not emailing them. And the second thing is, if they're on your email list, even if you're on a free email provider, you still have a cost on having that together. They're sitting there doing nothing. Why would you not email them? Why would you not use that resource? I can tell you now, email marketing took our business from 0 to a good 6-figure business within a matter of months with nothing else, without ads. We had a Facebook group and an email list. That's all we had. And if you don't email them, you can't be making sales to those people. You can directly show people's inboxes on their phone and go, hey, this will really help you. Do you want to buy it? They'll click the button and they buy stuff. Like, that's how it works.
That is Alan's question, Alan Kotlier. Hey, Alan, shout out to Alan. He's part of my Chrome Boss community. He has a Chrome extension called Birthday Reminder, and it reminds you of people's birthday. So especially if you guys are if you guys have GroupConvert, which is my software, lets you collect emails from your Facebook groups, you guys should be using it to send your Facebook group emails. Because as Kennedy said, all it takes is a Facebook group, an email, and you're well on the email addresses and you're well on your way. We have a couple more questions coming in. Tani asked, how big is your list and how long have you used this strategy? How much has your list grown?
Oh, this is actually much smaller than people might think. There's this big myth that you need to have a massive email list in order to make a load of money, and that is so not true. In fact, there are so many hassles that come with having a list that's massive. So we never want to have a list that's like 100,000 people or 50,000 people. We're constantly trimming our list down. We're happy to keep a list of a few thousand people, but be able to make multiple 6 figures a year from that list. So what we are mostly focused on doing is bringing new people in, making sure that we follow up with the people who do disengage, because in every email marketing strategy, you have to have something to handle the disengaged people. We created something that we teach called the LOL Revival campaign. It's designed to take people who've checked out, they've sort of disconnected, they've stopped paying attention, give them a chance to re-engage. And if they do, great. If they don't, they get deleted from the list, which creates more room for new people to come in. So that's what we're mostly doing. And we just therefore have quite small growth, because that's how we like to do it. And yeah, so we focus on making the maximum amount of money per subscriber rather than trying to have a massive list in order to make money.
Yeah, and just to remind you, I have a coach. His email list is only 2,000 people, but he has a healthy multiple 7-figure company. So yeah, totally. You don't need like a really big list to do really well. What is it? Let's see. So Jamie says, Kennedy, what you just said is so true. Big wake up call right there. Thank you, man.
Brilliant.
Awesome. By the way, cool animated video I saw a couple of days ago on how email marketing isn't dead. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's one of our ads that's running. We have a cartoon ad running at the minute. It's an animated cartoon. It's thank you. Please enjoy it.
All right. Yeah. One of my clients has 6 people on her list. She made a first offer, sold 5 spots. Oh yeah,
Right.
that's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
A great question there about, are you in multiple niches or just one? Yeah, we are personally in multiple niches across our businesses, from self-development. I also have a coaching program which teaches entertainers. I have another business which is for magicians. I think that's it.
Marketing, yeah, we've had a bunch of others, persuasion and influence. Yeah, we've had lots over time.
Yeah, but like we also showed you some of the other niches that are doing this on the screen earlier as well. Everything from services to products to membership to one-off products. Really, literally all kinds of people all around the world are doing this. I noticed as well. Omar's asking, how do I subscribe? The best way, dude, honestly, is just go to our Facebook group, the Email Marketing Show community, and on the way into that, it says, give us your email address to get our free stuff and our emails. And that's probably the best way for you, honestly. Yes, they're all separate. Yeah, and they're
So
in different...
Peter says, I assume those are separate lists, but you just send everyone the same stories, like the separate niches that you have?
Like sometimes we do, sometimes we don't if it's not appropriate, but they're actually all on separate email marketing platforms. So we like have ActiveCampaign, we have we have like Infusionsoft, Keep, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit. Like we've used like them all, and we do have everything separately.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing worse than accidentally sending the wrong thing. Like, hey, you want to buy a magic trick? And like this bunch of people are going, what? Kennedy, are you smoking really good stuff? What's happening? You know? So, yeah, you got to be careful with that.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Any other questions? So yes, they do have separate lists. You shouldn't be sending, I don't know, magic tricks to a list that subscribe for other reasons. Okay, here's a good question.
Yeah, so we actually ignore open rates more or less completely. And what I mean by that is we don't pay too much attention to them. The main reason for that, there's a few reasons for that. One of them is it just, there's no point in looking at the average open rate across like, across different industries. It's going to be different depending on how competitive they are. If you're in an industry where there's almost no competition because you're like for example, in Kennedy's market where he teaches entertainers, there's not many other people building, a little hint for you here. There's not many people building lists in that crowd. So he's one of the only, right? So he's got way less competition in that market than say in our business where we teach email marketing. So open rates across different industries, different niches vary, different email marketing platforms will vary as well. But also open rates are actually just wrong. When you send your emails out and then you go and look inside ActiveCampaign or whatever your email marketing platform is, and it tells you a number, they're all wrong. And they're wrong for a technical reason we don't really have time to go into, but they massively underreport. So whatever it says your open rate is, it's actually higher. And so what's useful is with open rates is to track whether it's going up or whether it's going down, because even though they're wrong, they're consistently wrong. So it's wrong by the same percentage. So it's useful to see if you suddenly notice your open rates drop off a cliff, you've done something and you need to fix that. You need to go back to the last junction and do something else again. However, what we pay attention to instead, rather than open rate, is click-through rate, because that is accurate. That's useful to know how many people are clicking stuff. That is 100% accurate. You can look at that. But we also pay more attention to how much money did we earn per subscriber. And the reason is that actually gives us a really solid metric to track over time, but also a comparable metric to other businesses and your friends and other things that are going on. Because if you've got 1,000 subscribers and somebody else has 1,000 subscribers and you're making $10,000 a month, that's 10,000 divided by the 1,000 subscribers. That's $10 per subscriber this month.
10, Robert. Get your fingers and toes out.
But your friend made $5,000 from 1,000 subscribers. They're only making $5 per subscriber. You've got a real, that's actually a comparable metric. Not that you should compare yourself to other people, but it gives you a thing that you can do something with. So what we're looking to do is to say, well, because obviously our list gets a bit bigger every month. So like we're constantly paying attention to that. We're really paying attention for the number of subscribers we had. How much money did we make? What's that per subscriber? And for us, that's a much more useful metric.
I don't know how much time you guys have left. We still have questions coming in. How are you building the list and adding new people? And then also, how do you come up with creative titles? Are you using link tagging in the email? And then have you ever been blacklisted? So
Cool. Blacklisted really quickly. I've not been blacklisted. It's best to try and obviously avoid that. A couple of things will get you blacklisted. One of them is being particularly naughty. So just protect your IP address, which means use a professional email service provider, and also protect your domain name against that. So just make sure you clean your list. Don't scrape the internet for data. Don't buy data, any of that stuff. Opt in only. Because if you think people complain when you email them when they did opt in. Can you imagine how they feel about you when they didn't opt in? Just don't do it. It's terrible, right? How do you come up with creative subject lines and titles and stuff? Look at what's in the email and what's the most interesting thing you can say about that thing. It's usually to do with the story and not to do with what you sell. Otherwise, if you always talk about the thing you sell in the subject lines will always be the same. And now, on to Rashida's question, how are you building your list and adding new people? We do two things. One, we have our Facebook group, and that's been amazing for us. People come into the group, they give us their email address, we use a tool to pull all that stuff out, we go into our email system, all that stuff is wonderful. And then the other thing we do is paid ads, and we do paid ads into a paid product. We do not do paid ads into a free lead magnet because for that end of things, we want to liquidate the cost of advertising as quickly as possible. So we do paid ads into a paid product in an ascension funnel. And we do that in two ways, actually. We do ads and we also have affiliates promote that same funnel. So we end up, and we give a really good commission across the whole funnel and do all the good things. So we're bringing in customers and then we're obviously ascending them into other offers as well. So free through the Facebook group and two paid channels of list building, which is ads. And, we don't have a massive ads budget. We spend between 15 and 25,000 a month. So it's not like we're not playing in the big leagues, but like it's enough for us where we are right now. We probably will scale that. And then we have affiliates pushing straight into that ascension funnel as well. Mm-hmm. No.
No double opt-in. Okay. So in ConvertKit, just so because Rashida is in my Ignite program, same thing with Jamie. With ConvertKit, there's an option where you get out of the double opt-in. You go to settings and it's like uncheck the incentive email. You get out of the double opt-in world.
We're not lawyers, but as long as they know what they're opting in for, the intent of joining your list to get your newsletter and to hear from you often, you're pretty good there. And secondly, you've got an opt-out, unsubscribe link at the bottom of every email so they can get out. We're not lawyers, don't trust anything we say, but I think you've got a pretty good chance.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up because it's been an hour and we have a bunch of thank you so much, Kennedy and Rob, for your time. Yeah, you can get out of double opt-in. Guys, if you have any other questions, make sure that you go into their Facebook group, follow them. They delivered an awesome training today that is so full of value. So thank you guys so much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say bye to everyone, and then I'll click end broadcast. I'll say bye to you guys separately, just super quick. Lovely. And then that's it.
The after party. Let's go.
Yes. Bye.
Oh yeah, if you like that video, then you will love all the resources that I have over at kimcdang.com. That is KIMCDANG.com. There you will find all my courses, my extensions, all the offers that I have, as well as a lot of free resources if you are just getting started.